LEGO Star Wars sets based off of Star Wars video games is something that LEGO doesn't really do that often anymore, but back in the late 2000s to mid 2010s, this was something that LEGO actually did pretty frequently. We got multiple sets based off games like The Old Republic, Battlefront, and many others. And today, I want to rank every single one of them. So without further ado, I have a total of 15 sets to get through, and starting off at the 15th spot, I have 75001 Republic Troopers versus Sith Troopers. Now, don't get me wrong, this set being at the back of the list does not mean it's a bad set in any way. The figures in this set are actually awesome in my opinion. I think they're some of the best troopers LEGO has ever made, but really the reason I think it's the weakest set based off a video game is just because of the build. It's kind of unappealing, especially compared to the other sets on this list, and while I love the figures and really appreciate that LEGO made this set because we probably wouldn't have gotten these figures otherwise, I just think it's the weakest compared to the other sets on this list. Anyways though, up next at the 14th spot, I have a Battlefront 2 set, that being 75226 Inferno Squad Battle Pack, and this is really the only set that's directly based off of Battlefront 2, and it came out in 2019 for some reason, 2 years after the game released. And while the set is alright, I mean, I really like the minifigures. Those Inferno Squad troopers are pretty cool looking. I just wish, one, this set should have came out 2 years earlier with the release of the game, and two, I think we should have just got a bigger set for this game. I mean, it's cool that they made this at least, and I guess it's nice they made Iden Versio, but I feel like we could have gotten a larger playset, maybe some type of indoor playset from the opening level of the campaign, or preferably the Corvus, even though that's probably a bit too unrealistic because that would have been a very expensive set. But regardless, I think this battle pack is kind of lame for what Battlefront 2 was when it released. I'm glad we got these figures, but we should have got a bigger set, not a battle pack. Up next at the 13th spot, I have 75342 Republic Fighter Tank from 2022, and as many of you guys know, these Republic Fighter Tanks are mainly based off the Battlefront games as well as some other games as well, and LEGO has released 3 of them so far, and I think this one right here is the worst one by a long shot. If it wasn't for the minifigure lineup, I honestly probably would have put this set in last place because the build is really bad. I mean, it looks like a 4+ set. It's just this very basic triangle shape. There's no shaping on the sides of the build. It's just flat and it's not very accurate and it doesn't look good, and again, that just makes it look like a 4+ set. But on the contrary, like I said, the minifigure lineup is really good. Those purple 187th clone troopers are by far some of the most unique and awesome looking clone troopers LEGO's ever made. We also got a new arm printed Mace Windu in this set, as well as 2 battle droids, all for only $40, which is just kind of crazy. 6 minifigures in a $40 set is just something you don't really see anymore. But unfortunately, as good as the minifigure lineup is, it doesn't make up for this bad build, so I'm not putting it any higher. Now up next at the 12th spot, I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for having this set so far towards the back of the list. Most of you guys would probably have this set in the top 5 or even the top 3, and that's 7672 Rogue Shadow from 2008. If you don't know, this ship, the Rogue Shadow, is the main ship from the first Force Unleashed game that released back in 2008, and they released this set alongside the game, and I'm pretty sure this was actually the first ever LEGO Star Wars set based off a Star Wars video game. But regardless, a lot of people love this set, but I don't think it's as good as most people think it is. Don't get me wrong, it is a legendary set. LEGO would never make something like this again. I doubt we'll ever see this set remade, but it just has some problems that I don't think many people are aware of. The fuselage doesn't have a bottom side, so it kind of gives the set just an incomplete feel, and also the set itself, or the build itself, is very fragile, and I don't think many people realize that. And also, when speaking about the minifigure lineup, the 3 minifigures included in this set are really cool, especially Starkiller. However, it's missing Proxy, who was a pretty important character in the game and in the whole story. Now, I know this would have been a pretty hard minifigure for LEGO to make back in 2008, but at the same time, they made General Grievous in 2005, so I definitely think they could have tried to make Proxy in 2008. So again, I know this set is legendary. I know it's really the main Force Unleashed set, and we're never going to get something like this again. I just don't think people realize that it's not as good as everyone thinks it is. Anyways though, up next at the 11th spot, I have a super underrated battle pack, that being 75133 Rebel Alliance Battle Pack from 2016. This set is based off of the 2015 Battlefront, and I think it's one of the best Rebel battle packs LEGO has ever made. The minifigures are just super unique. First of all, I love when LEGO just makes normal plain Rebel troopers like the ones we get in this set, but then on top of that, we also got an exclusive Rodian and an exclusive Duros, all in a battle pack for only $13, which I just think is really cool. And not to mention, the speeder is awesome as well. I think it's one of the best speeders LEGO's ever made. It's actually pretty unique compared to most battle pack builds, and it fits the figures really well. Now making our way into the top 10, at the number 10 spot, I have another set from the Force Unleashed, that being 75079 Shadow Troopers. This is the second set that's based off the Force Unleashed, and kind of the lesser known one. A lot of people don't know this set is based off that game, or sort of roughly based off that game, because that's where those Shadow Guards in this set first appeared. And the Shadow Guards in this set are alright. They're pretty basic figures, no leg printing or anything like that. I mean, they're unique, but there's not a whole lot going on. on, although the main highlight to me at least are those Shadow Troopers. In my opinion, those are the best Shadow Troopers LEGO's ever made. They're not completely all black, they're sort of a dark gunmetal gray color, which I think looks really good, and then on their helmet they have like a little tone of silverish color, and it just gives them this really nice polished look that makes them stand out from all the other Shadow Stormtroopers LEGO has made. And then when talking about the build, as you can see, there's not much. The main highlight really is those minifigures, with those Shadow Troopers really carrying this set. Up next at the number 9 spot, I have a set that most people probably don't know is based off a video game, that being 8087 TIE Defender from 2010. And if you didn't know, the TIE Defender first appeared in the Star Wars TIE Fighter game from 1994, and that game is really what made this ship popular, and I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that's mainly what LEGO based this set off of. And this set is a fan favorite mainly because it's arguably the most unique TIE variant LEGO has made, and don't get me wrong, I love this set. It's super nostalgic and very unique, like I said, but it is very outdated, and that's not very hard to see. I mean, when you look at the thing, you can tell it's from the late 2000s, and also not to mention it is fairly fragile, and obviously I'd put it higher up on the list if it wasn't fragile and it wasn't so dated, but unfortunately in 2025 those are just notable problems with this set, and because of that I really think LEGO should remake this, but that's a topic for a different video. Anyways though, up next at the number 8 spot, I have another Battlefront 2 set, that being 75345 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack from 2023. And if you didn't know, this is considered a Battlefront 2 set because the Clone Troopers in it are based off the different classes of the 501st Clone Trooper in Battlefront 2, with the Heavy Trooper, the Officer, and the Specialist. And I'm not gonna lie, LEGO did a really good job with these figures. I'd say these are some of the best modern Clone Troopers LEGO has made. When I mean modern, I mean like 2022 to now. The Officer is definitely the weakest one in this set because he's got the printed waist cape and everything, but the other ones, especially that Specialist, look really nice. And also not to mention, the build is fairly interesting as well. Continuing on with battle packs, up next at the number 7 spot, I have 75134 Galactic Empire Battle Pack from 2016. This is another set that's based off the 2015 Battlefront, and it was released alongside the Rebel Alliance Battle Pack that I talked about earlier, and this is an absolute fan favorite. A lot of people would argue that this is probably the best Imperial Battle Pack LEGO's ever made, and while I definitely wouldn't go that far, I do think it's a great set, mainly just because of that Shock Stormtrooper. This is the only time LEGO's ever made that figure before, and they did an amazing job on it back in 2016. But then on top of that, you also have those Jetpack Stormtroopers, which also look really unique because they have those battle damage prints on their armor. Although unfortunately, one thing that does hold this set back quite a bit is that build. It's unfortunately pretty ugly. I mean, I'd say this is one of the weakest battle pack builds LEGO has ever made, but man, those Stormtroopers, especially that Shock Trooper, really carry this set. Anyways though, up next at the number 6 spot, I have another Old Republic set, that being 9497 Republic Striker Class Starfighter from 2012. This was sort of the main protagonist set for that game back in 2012, as it includes Satele Shan, who was the main Jedi in the trailers, along with Republic Trooper Jace, with both of these figures looking really good for 2012. And then on top of that, you also have the Starfighter, of course, which looks awesome. It's very reminiscent of a Z95 Headhunter. Now, I would say that in 2025, this build is fairly dated. You can definitely tell it's an older set, but it still looks really good, and it's one of the most unique Starfighters LEGO has made, and again, those minifigures are really impressive for their time period. Now, making our way into the top 5, at the number 5 spot, I have an absolute fan favorite, that being 7679 Republic Fighter Tank from 2008. The Republic Fighter Tank first appeared in the 2002 Clone Wars video game that was for the original Xbox, and then it later appeared in Battlefront 2 in 2005, and a lot of people consider this to be based off of Battlefront 2, although I want to say it's more based off that Clone Wars game because it looks more like that model than the model in Battlefront 2, but regardless though, like I said, this is a fan favorite from 2008, and I mean, for obvious reasons, the thing just looks cool. It's a pretty epic set. Now, it is very oversized. That's probably its main issue, because that just makes it not technically accurate, but like at the same time, that doesn't matter too much because it just looks really cool. Although I do have to say, one thing that I've always found annoying about this set is that it doesn't have any battle droids or any extra figures at all. It just has these 2 clone troopers, which are cool, but like, I wish there was more. But regardless though, like I said, it's a classic set, it's a fan favorite, and it looks awesome. Although I do think there's a Republic Fighter Tank that is a bit better, and I know most people won't agree with this, but at the number 4 spot, I have 75182 Republic Fighter Tank from 2017. And in my opinion, this is by far the best and most accurate Republic Fighter Tank LEGO has made because it's pretty much spot on with the 2017 Battlefront 2 model. From the scale to the shaping to the detailing, they pretty much got it 100% perfect, and that's something I've just always appreciated with this set. And also, not to mention, it's got a very solid minifigure lineup with that Phase 2 Clone Gunner, Aayla Secura, and 2 battle droids. Anyways though, making our way into the top 3, at the number 3 spots, I have another Old Republic set, that being 75025 Jedi Defender Class Cruiser from 2013. This was the last Old Republic set that LEGO made, and also the biggest one, and for some reason, despite it being being the biggest set, it's not really the main protagonist set because it doesn't really include any named characters. You just have 4 unnamed characters being the Jedi Counselor, the Jedi Knight, the Sith Warrior, and the Sith Trooper, all of which are very, very incredible figures, especially the Sith Warrior and the Jedi Counselor. Those are some of the coolest Jedi and Sith, I guess, that LEGO has ever made. But I've always just found it kind of strange that they didn't include Satele Shan in this set and not the Starfighter, but oh well, I guess. Regardless though, the set is pretty cool. The build is a bit cartoonish, which I think makes it look kind of off compared to other LEGO Star Wars cruisers, but at the very least, it is unique and has a nice colorway, and I think most people, myself included, consider it to be one of the better Old Republic sets. Up next, at the number 2 spot, I have yet another Old Republic set, that being 9500 Sith Fury class Interceptor from 2012. And in my opinion, and a bunch of other people's opinion, this is without a doubt the best Old Republic set. First of all, the build is super mean and aggressive looking. I mean, the ship just kind of has that mean look, but this set also includes Darth Malgus, which is a very, very sought after figure. It's one of, if not the best Sith figure LEGO has ever made by a long shot. I mean, as most of you guys know, the community absolutely loves this figure. Everyone wants him. And then of course, you also get 2 Sith Troopers, but the main highlight is Darth Malgus, and of course that awesome build. Anyways though, now finally making our way to the number 1 spot, I have the one and only set based off of Jedi Fallen Order, and that's of course 75335 BD1 from 2022. Now some of you guys might find it kind of lame that I have this set at number 1, and I really wanted to put the Sith Fury class Interceptor at number 1 over this set, but at the end of the day, I honestly just couldn't deny that this set is objectively pretty much perfect. First of all, it's $100, which is a great price point, and then the set is literally perfect. I mean, it's kind of unfair how good of a job LEGO did on this model. I know it doesn't have any figures and it's kind of a display set, but it's just objectively pretty much perfect, like I said. And as much as I wanted to put the Fury class Interceptor at number 1, I just couldn't deny that this set is better. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you think about my list down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, using the screen right now.